Alright, I don't quite remember this. I thought it went straight into like a close-up view of like shops and the bus and stuff and Rose just going about her life. Actually, it might be doing that now, to be fair. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, there we go, starting in a house and you see it straight from the companion's perspective. Which is good, like I said, she's the audience surrogate, so we're seeing things through her eyes, we're experiencing this new era of Doctor Who, and everything through what Rose perceives and sees, so yeah, it should be her perspective to begin with. And yeah, I guess if you're going to have the Ortons be the main villain, then a shopping centre is probably the good way to do it. I mean, you got mannequins with clothes on ready to go. I think this is also good because it just illustrates that the companion already has a life and already has an existence, that there's more to her than just meeting this doctor and travelling through space and time. Just a person who gets dragged into this extraordinary world. It's just good. This is interesting, so I hadn't noticed this until this watch through, but like, the music just stops. Like, it adds to the atmosphere. Like, you know something is about to happen. And it's so subtle. Like I said, I've watched this episode probably about 30, 40 times, and this is the first time, to my knowledge, that I'm picking up on this. I mean, I might have done it in the past, but I don't remember it. So that's definitely a plus. It's really quite eerie. I could see this scaring a kid. Like, it does a lot with so little. There's almost like a hollow sense to this room, which is kind of funny considering it's like plastic gangers that they're up against. It's mannequins, it's the Ortons. See, the movement is really jarring and off. Like, the CGI isn't great, but again, I think it adds to the aesthetic of the monster, so I think in this case it is absolutely fine. And yeah, it's a solid introduction to the Doctor. For the first time you see him in this episode, it's dynamic, it's to the point, it's, yeah, very good. Also, I swear at like the beginning of this episode, you see that leather jacket on one of the like mannequin bodies on display. So I think that's just a subtle little Easter egg and a subtle little push that this is a fresh Doctor. Like, he's only just become this man. I mean, there's other parts throughout this episode that illustrate that. Like when he looks in the mirror and starts fiddling with his ears. And yeah, you can tell that he's not been around people for a while. Like, I know he's just exited the Time War, but he feels very distant, cold, and alien. Like, I know people thought Capaldi's introduction was jarring, but, like, this is certainly a fresh take on the character compared to, like, the classic era. Like, it's good, but it's very clear that this is, like, right, this is what we're doing now. This is our Doctor. This is the direction. This is what the show is going to be, and that's good. How quickly they've established that. Like, I get it's a television budget, and I get this is 2005, but the CGI is not doing well now. And yeah, just having the TARDIS be in the background is good as well. It didn't need to be this big elaborate reveal. It was just, ta-da, there it is on the sidewalk. And yeah, it works effectively. I do love Jackie. And just as a character, I think she's great. Like, you can see that she's a caring mother, but she's also got like that sharper edge to her. I think it's a nice contrast to Rose. Oh, I forgot about this. I think this is weird. I think even if they'd established the characters more across a couple of episodes, this would still be a weird scene. Although Eccleston's firm no was quite funny. But I don't really know why it exists within the episode. Yeah, there we go. There's that. Again, this, like, I can see what they're trying to do. It just looks quite goofy. I mean, it's not the worst of the CGI we get in the episode. That's definitely Plastic Mickey, but, like, it's not great. I don't really know how I feel about this one, because, yeah, on the one hand, it's very good at setting Rose up as the companion and as a character, but it feels way too quick. Like, it's just jump, 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 scene to scene. Like, there are bits where it's, like, allowed to breathe, but it's just so on its feet all the time and just moving so much that I don't know whether it would have been better to slow it down a little bit and do more character work. It's kind of why I like Deep Breath a lot, I think, because it's Capaldi's first episode, but it's a great character piece. I think the 11th hour is really good as well, but I think the 11th hour is kind of similar in the sense that it feels like a lot of just scene bouncing. And yeah, I think Eccleston's natural charm and the script that he's given, like the dialogue, it sells him as the Doctor. It does a good job. But I just think the pace is a bit too jumpy for an introductory episode. See, I think just as a Doctor, he's good at balancing the humour and the darkness. Like, he's got that gritty edge to him, but there's still, like, the Doctor's sort of comical aspect of his character present. The speeches are amazing. It's one of the things I love most about Doctor Who, is that when a good Doctor actor is given a good speech, it comes together in a way that, like, I don't think other shows can replicate. This character is the Doctor. See, I think it's, like, plot points like this, which is how, like, the show has become modern, or how this is modern Who. Because using like a search engine and a conspiracy theorist to try and pinpoint facts about the Doctor feels like something they couldn't have really done in the classic series. And while we're on the subject, that's photoshopped as not good photoshopped. It's jarring. So, that guy, Clive, he's in the expanded media. There's a short story where the 12th Doctor saves him as a child. He's in a lot of Big Finish stuff as well. There's even a story about him being evil on a parallel Earth. Of all of the, like, one-off characters to expand upon, he's an interesting choice. Like, I like the character. And the actor is great, because, like, he's Chalky from Wortley Road. I mean, what's not to love? He fits this sort of conspiracy theorist character well, I think. I think it was a good cast choice. And to be fair, I think this being like our introduction to the character, like to the Doctor as a character, or a modern audience would be, who aren't aware of like all the aspects of the show. I think Rose experiencing it via a conspiracy theorist is an interesting take, because as the audience surrogate, you'd probably be feeling the same way Rose is, and that's that this guy is just like talking crap, like it's not real. I mean, you've seen moving plastic, so maybe it's not too absurd, but like, if something like this was to happen, you'd be like, why am I listening to this man? If he only just became the Doctor, as the ears and the jacket implies, are we witnessing off-screen future adventures he has when Rose isn't around? Or is this already pre-established stuff that happened like in between him grabbing her hand and saying run and him appearing at a door? Like, it's interesting to think, where do these little pieces fit into the Ninth Doctor's continuity? Right, so here's the thing. Like I said earlier on, I know that this is a television budget and they're trying to stretch it to 13 episodes, but like, even by 2005 standards, this can't have been considered good. Maybe they knew just how terrible this was and they were trying to jump into sort of the humor of it. Like, they were just like, yeah, this is a funny scene, let's roll with it. I love how this like plastic Mickey is much more confident and like suave than actual Mickey. I think it's quite funny. Again, they have to be trying to be funny here. If they're not trying to make a joke, then I don't understand this scene. Or is the point meant to be that the Autons are confused about human behaviour? I mean, I'm confused about human behaviour, but... See, Mickey without a head is definitely more threatening than the weird plastic face. Like, it's still not good CGI, but it's a lot more threatening now. I think it might have been better if there was, like, no conceivable way of getting out of there without the TARDIS. I think the Doctor being a bit sort of like, it's the TARDIS wasn't the best. I think it would have been better if like Rose was forced into it and he was a bit like, well, if you must, this is my time machine. I feel like he wouldn't be comfortable enough with it yet to just be like, yeah, jump aboard my TARDIS. But apart from that, it's solid. The shots and the perspective are good. And given that Rose is the everyman entering this new universe, it means she can ask questions. She can have the Doctor explain things. This is what I mean. Like, clearly the Doctor's annoyed that he lost the head. He lost his one lead to solving the mystery. But, like, if he's this harsh, this cold, and this distant with her, I feel like her entering somewhere like the TARDIS should have had more significance to him than just, we'll take the TARDIS. I mean, it's a small nitpick because it is a solid episode. It's the Doctor's sort of, like, casual goofiness, which I think is a rare thing in 9, but it's very fun to watch. See, I wish I could say this is our only giant, massive goo for the series, but we got the mighty Jaggerfest to go. This is what I quite like about the show as well. Like, you have location filming like this, you just throw some mood lighting in, a little bit of CGI, and it does go quite a long way, to be fair. I think something like this does suspend the animation quite well. This is what I mean, he's clearly not been around people for a while, otherwise he probably would have reassured Rose and told her that like, Mickey could have still been alive and probably would be. See, growing up in Cardiff, it's so jarring looking at what, like, the shops and Queen's Arcade and things look like in 2005 compared to now. Like, I still recognise loads of locations, but it's not the same now whatsoever. See, this is definitely the first sad death of the series. Like, I get the Autons wanted to illustrate or the writer, Russell T, wanted to illustrate the threat level of the Autons. But I wish it was just some randomer. I don't really think Clive deserved to die. I do think some of the acting is a little bit over the top. Like, it feels a little bit soap opera-y here. Yeah, see, I do kind of like that Rose is the one to stop the Nestine consciousness, though. I think it's this sort of act right now which solidifies her as the companion in the Doctor's eyes. And then, yeah, you get to see the box move for the first time, which is also fun. Again, I think Mickey's just being too cowardly here, even by his character standards at the beginning. Like, Mickey not wanting her to go is fine, you could just express that, but literally clinging to her just is a bit cringy. I mean, given the knowledge of the episode Father's Day, I think this is quite a good setup, or quite a good allusion to that. Like, we know now what Rose's intentions for travelling are. But yeah, solid episode. Good beginning.